Scott, welcome back, sir. Welcome back from old Buffalo.
Yes. Good to be here. Happy to be here. Week 18. Had another good week last week. One selection away from getting to 120 for the year. Buffalo was great. Not the biggest fan of the picture you selected, but so be it. I wasn't here, so it is what it is. No, Buffalo was awesome. The fans were great. The food was great. The wings were great. Um, I am in a spiraling depression because of what happened last night with the Steelers. We suck. 4 weeks in a row of the worst offensive performances I've seen in a while. Our defense did step up last night. I was surprised we held Cincinnati to the amount of points we held them to, 19. But yeah, we suck. Clock management horrible. Russell Wilson, old geezer. Get him a cane. Get him out of there. I can't wait. We'll talk about it. I need the Chargers to lose because if we have to go to Baltimore for week one or for playoff round one, we're going to get absolutely demolished. So I'm in a strange place right now. But I'm happy to be here. Week 18.
Hey, at least you're playoff bound. Dolphins are not going to be there because we're going to find a way to lose to the Jets today. So don't worry about it.
That's fair. Fair enough. Evelyn, we see you.
All right.
Early
Evelyn,
morning.
thank you for joining us. Hello. Real quick, I want to shout out the sponsor, Shop CYA. Cover your assets up here, shopcya.com. Sponsors our videos. Make sure to check them out. We got 12 games for you today. We've had, two so far this week? Just the ones that were yesterday, the Browns, Ravens, and... Was there a Thursday game this week? Oh, it was, wasn't it? No.
Wait.
Yeah. So we had 2 yesterday. We had a couple today, but we're doing 12. There's a couple today that we want no parts of, so we're not going to be talking about those. Giants Eagles is the first one that we're going to talk about here. Giants are 2.5 point underdog. Total sitting at 36.5. Excuse me. Saquon, he's not playing for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts not playing for the Eagles. They're benching some other guys, not going for the Eagles. They're resting them. Giants on the flip side coming off a big win last week, their first home win of the year. So they're riding a little bit of momentum. Give me the Giants here, Scott, with the plus 2.5. And let me give you some little numbers here. All right.
Lay it on me.
Brian Dable, the head coach for the Giants, 8-2 against the spread when games 15 or later in the season. When it's 16 or later, he is 6-1 against the spread. When it is week 17 or 18 of the season, he is 5-0 against the spread as a head coach. Nick Sirianni, head coach for the Eagles on the flip side, 1-6 against the spread in that same slot. But this is not so good here for the Giants. All right, Eagles are 11-0 straight up in their last 11 versus the Giants in Philadelphia. And the Giants are 9-24 straight up on the road since 2021. So not very ideal there in terms of the Giants winning the game outright, but I think they find a way to cover this 2.5. So give me the 2.5, Scott. I trust in Drew Lock.
Look, it's an interesting fact as you threw out there. There's a reason Philadelphia's record is not very good in week 17 and 18, and that's usually because they're resting their players because they've locked up a seed in the playoffs. So I'd like to throw that out to the people. Look, they're
and on the flip side, Giants, maybe haven't been in there too many times,
They have not. So they're usually playing their starters.
They like to play spoiler. They like to play spoiler.
Yeah. But it's not really a spoiler if your opponent, your division rival, has secured a playoff spot. Look,
who knows?
Would I like to see Saquon put another 150 plus yards up against the Giants? I would. He is pretty close to the record, but you don't risk it. He said he didn't want to play. You don't play him. They're going to rest their stars. Giants have a chance to win this game. They're in Philadelphia, gross place to play. Their fans suck. They're horrible. They're disgusting. Hate Philadelphia. But I'm going to take Philadelphia money line here because I think Philadelphia's second team is better than the Giants' first team. Giants are in shambles. If I'm the Giants, I lose this game and try to get to that number 1 draft pick.
They're out of it. They're out of the contention for the number 1 pick now.
Oh, okay. Then a lot to play for here for the Giants.
Yeah. Giants cannot get the number 1.
I just think that their second team's better. They're good all around. Yeah, give me Philly money line. They're in Philly, second string players. You're playing to be evaluated for next season if you're a second string. Are you going to stay with Philadelphia? Is another team going to come pick you up? Are you on a 1-year contract? So those second string players that get an opportunity to play, they're going to play their heart out because they're playing for jobs in the future. So give me Philadelphia money line.
Trusting in Kenny Pickett, huh? What a crazy beginning of 2025 we are experiencing here.
This is I'm in a weird place. I'm in a blender.
We got the Bears making the trip to the frozen tundra, taking on the Packers. This is another game that Bears have been eliminated. Packers have clinched a spot in the playoffs, but this one is for seeding. They have a chance to move up or go down if they win or lose this one. Packers are sitting at 9.5-point favorites. Totals at 41.5. Packers are supposed to start their starters, but I'd be surprised if they play past halftime. They've already said Josh Jacobs should not expect a full workload. Given that, we're going back to the numbers this week, Scott.
Let's hear him.
The Bears are 10-23-2 against the spread versus divisional opponents since 2019. 10-23-2 versus the Packers specifically. 13-30 against the spread the last time they've played. Hold on, I got one more for you here somewhere. Maybe. The Bears suck, needless to say. Yes, here it is. No, I'm not joking, all right? Let me get serious right now. The Bears have not won on a Sunday, on a day that is at a game that's played on today, Sunday. They haven't won a game in 3 effing years, all right? 20 straight games they have lost on a Sunday. They've lost 11 straight to Green Bay, 1-10 against the spread in those losses. Their only cover was earlier this year. Not going to happen. Give me the Packers minus 9.5. It's going to be absolutely frozen there also. I think the high is like 18 degrees, so it's not going to be a very fun environment for these losing Browns. Give me the Packers minus 9.5. Malik Willis gets it done.
Yeah, look, your stats make sense. In the end, the cold to me doesn't matter. They're both cold weather teams. It just means maybe not as many points are going up here. So I am surprised that with the pick you went with. I thought this would be an easy pick for you to go the under because you're weak and you like the unders. But
wow.
Look, when it comes down to it,
shots fired.
The Packers don't want to risk their players. Yes, they can get a better seed, but like you mentioned, like Josh Jacobs probably not going to play the whole game. If something happens, if there's a tweak, if there's a bump in the cold, the starters are not going to stay in. The Bears suck. You said it. I laughed because you said I have one more number stat, and all you said was the Bears suck. And for me, that's good enough because the Bears are garbage. I've taken them in circa a couple times this year, and I hate myself for it. But rival, last game of the year, you suck. You want to prove something. I absolutely I'm disgusted with what I'm about to say. Bears plus 9.5, and I hate myself for it, but I like it.
I mean, in this situation, the Bears, even though they're eliminated, they're playing a team that they never beat, so they definitely have something to play for sure. They almost beat them the first time around earlier this year.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, they definitely have something to play for. Not going to happen. We got Panthers taking this. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of when you took the Panthers as the favorite a couple weeks back. It's
against
just,
the Chiefs.
Let's just carry on. Don't do it.
Let's carry on, people. There's a reason
Panthers taking on the Falcons. The Panthers are
taking on the Falcons. Here we go.
Falcons are a 7.5-point favorite. Total is sitting at 48.5. Scott, since your record is so much fucking better, what do you like here, sir?
Look, all I'm saying is you're not even above 500. But let's carry on.
I'm trying.
You are trying. I will say you can make it happen this week.
That's my goal. That's my goal for this week. We can get there. We just need a nice 8-4. 8-4 gets me over 500. All right. That's what we're going for.
Yeah,
That's the goal
that's
this week.
fair. I can go 0-12.
Yeah, we don't
on
care.
spread.
We don't care. What's your pick?
All right, Atlanta versus the Panthers. Panthers are a dumpster fire. I see Hindu in the chat saying, keep pounding rocks, sir. Your team is trash, just like mine." Atlanta has something to play for. It's a little out of their hands, but they need to win if they want a chance. You can't trust Atlanta. You can't trust the Panthers. At this point, I'd rather take any quarterback than Kirk Cousins because he's absolute garbage recently. Um, but the Falcons have something to play for, so I'm going to hope they can turn it around. They can use their running attack and some of their, I don't know, Drake London. I mean, I don't love it. This is another one that's just gross for me, but I'm doing it because it's what needs to happen.
Looks like you're
Atlanta
pulling teeth right
minus
now.
7.5. Atlanta minus 7.5. I absolutely hate it. I don't trust either team. I think they're both garbage, stinky garbage. But I'm going to go with Atlanta versus the Panthers. I'm going to say Kirk Cousins is going to do what he does in the background to teach Penix and do something with him to work through it. But look, I'm going to lean on the young guy. I'm going to lean on the guy. He's not playing bad. He has been playing well. He's playing a lot better than Kirk Cousins was. So give me Penix. Give me the rookie to make a statement here at the end, solidify his job going forward into next year, and give Atlanta a chance if the Bucs can't pull it off. Atlanta minus 7.5.
So, yeah. I think more of the Falcons' success lately has been, excuse me, their defensive play. Their defensive play has gone up another level. The one win that they did have under Penix 2 weeks ago, that was really just on the backs of the defense. They scored a couple times, defensive touchdowns. On the flip side, for the Carolina Panthers, while they've been eliminated and they had an abysmal first half of the year, their second half has actually been pretty good. Bryce Young is 3-1 against the spread against teams over 500. They're playing together. They look like they're kind of having fun again. They realized, maybe this isn't the season that we're going to win the Super Bowl, so let's play football. They have also earned the nickname the Carolina Reapers over this last couple weeks, Scott. They've eliminated teams. They've gotten coaches fired. I think this is another perfect situation for that. I think the Reapers go reaping here in ATL later this afternoon. Give me the Panthers plus 7.5. I have some numbers here for you, not many, but Raheem Morris, the head coach for the Falcons, he is 6-9 against the spread as a favorite of 3 or more. And when he's playing at home as a head coach, 12-23 against the spread at home. Panthers and Falcons always play tough divisional games. Usually the team that is on the away side, they tend to have, for whatever reason, an advantage in these games. So, yeah, give me this plus 7.5. I think they fight to the end. I'm also maybe a little Adam Thielen anytime there, Scott.
Ooh,
A little Adam Thielen anytime.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. You are right, though. Their defense is what's carrying them. I mentioned Penix is playing better than Kirk was. That's because Kirk had played 4 games and threw no touchdowns and 8 picks. Penix has 1 touchdown, so he is playing better than he did. It's not like he's playing lights out. He's just
You're not wrong.
He's just playing a little bit better and holding on to the ball, giving their defense a chance. But yeah, it could go either way. But it's not. It's gonna be Atlanta minus 7.5.
All right. Well, that one's also has playoff implications. Falcons have to win that one in order to get in, and I still think is that a win and in for them, or do they still need things to kind of go their way?
They've got to win, and then the next game coming up, we'll decide if they make it or not. That we'll talk about. Saints Bucks.
See that segue? See that segue? Get on our sponsor list. All right, we got Saints at the Bucks. Buccaneers are a 14.5 point favorite. Total sitting at 44.5. Derek Carr was supposedly going to try to go for this one. He is not. He's not going to get it done. So it's going to be Spencer Rattler getting the start for New Orleans. Tampa Bay, if they win, they are in. They have to win this game to make the playoffs. And if they win this game and the Falcons lose, they win the division, the NFC South. I think that I'm on the over here, Scott. I'm going to take the over 44.5. I'm going to shock the world here.
I am so proud of you.
So, I didn't put up the last week's recap when you were in Buffalo and I did the solo show and we only did 10 games. But to be fair, you went 7-3. I went 6-4, I think. But the unders destroyed me. I'm done. I'm done. I've said it before that, I'm done. I'm moving on. It's a new leaf. It's 2025. We're pitching the unders in the rear view. So give me the over 44.5. I think both teams are able to score. I think both defenses are lacking. I could definitely see the Buccaneers, score watching a little bit in that Falcons Panthers game, and maybe benching some of their guys a little later on, giving Spencer Rattler and the Saints some garbage touchdowns, some garbage points. So give me the over 44.5 here, Scott. What do you got?
Yeah, look, it's not a very exciting game for me. It's a one-sided game for me. The Bucs are a team that can get it done. If their offense is rolling, if their defense is rolling, they're a tough team. If Baker Mayfield's out there slinging the rock, the Saints have been in shambles all year. But you want to play spoiler to your inter-division rivals. We mentioned it. If the Bucs win, they are in. If the Bucs lose and the Falcons win, they are in. So a lot on these last two games here. I am going to go with the points here. And the reason I'm going to go with the points here is because 14.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. So I'm going to take 14.5 points and the Saints versus the Bucs here. I think it's going to be close. I think the Bucs are going to win, and that's it for the Falcons. Sorry, Evelyn. I think the Bucs are going to win. The Falcons they were going to win as well, but they're not going to make it because the Bucs win here. But 14.5 points it's a lot of points. I don't hate the over here. I'm really proud of you for maturing and understanding that is the way to go in these picks. I've been saying it all year. Don't take the under. You're taking too many unders, and that's really the difference between our two records. You've taken a lot of unders in recently, and they're not
fucking
paid
guy.
out for you.
You're like Yosemite Sam this morning, dude. Just letting them off.
Well, it gets early here in Denver. It's 7:43, and I just finished my coffee. But the only thing that keeps coming to mind is my record is better than yours, and it's because you're choosing the unders. Saints plus 14.5.
You know what? I'm still going to do this because I'm a good person. All right. Here's some numbers that back your side on this one with the Saints plus 14.5. Baker Mayfield.
Lay it on me.
5-0 straight up in this situation, but just 1-4 against the spread as a double-digit favorite. He's 5-11 against the spread at home versus divisional opponents. He is 10-10 against the spread on the road in those situations. So he's worse at home than he is on the road against divisional ops against the spread. Since 2018, the Saints are 34-24-1 against the spread on the road. However, Scott, that was with different quarterbacks. With their backups, not so much. Last 5 road games, they're 0-5 against the spread. Last 6, they are 0-6 straight up with their backup quarterbacks. They're losing by an average of 19 points per game. Yikes. But those are against starters. Like I said, probably some scoreboard watching. I think the Saints are probably the safer bet here. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's tough though because you're mentioning some stats, but at the same time, the Bucs and Baker, that team, Bucky. I mean, we've seen them go out against decent defenses and offenses that are way better than what the Saints have going. And all of a sudden that game is out of hand and it's a 40-7 type game. We've seen it. They've done it multiple times this year where their offense gets it done. Their defense comes to play. And before you know it, you're down 21, 28 points in the third quarter and you're just not coming back. I mean, the Bucs could handle the Saints here. I'm hoping that the Saints want to play spoiler. This is a true spoiler, interdivision spoiler game. If they beat the Bucs are out of the playoffs. That's my hope, and that's why I'm taking the points.
All right, moving on. We got Commanders taking on the Cowboys, making the trip to Dallas. Commanders have locked up a playoff spot, but they are playing for seeding. I think that's for the Cowboys over there. That'd
be the Choke Boys.
Gestation noise just occurred on the other side of the screen. We got the Commanders as a 7-point favorite. Total is 43.5. Scott, what do you got in this one?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't got, and that's the Cowboys because the Cowboys suck. The only thing worse than being a Steelers offensive performance fan right now is being a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys suck. The Cowboys choke. They did beat us, but that's fine. Look where we are now. Um, I hate the Cowboys. The Cowboys are choke artists. The team is horrible. The Commanders, however, have been a shock. Now, they started hot. The Commanders, if you were riding the wave early in the season when they were a 7-win team, they were looking lights out. They looked like they were going to get to 10, 11, 12 wins maybe. Then they fell apart. They were in shambles for a couple weeks, and they're back. They've won some tough games here at the end to secure their playoff spot. They have an exciting young team with some veteran leadership. Scary Terry's playing great. Washington is a scary team, in my opinion. They can, if it's the right Washington team, if Jaden Daniels comes to play, their offense comes to play, and their defense shows up, I think that they have a chance and can compete with a lot of teams in the NFC. That's a lot of teams. I'm not talking about the Lions here. I'm not talking. They could maybe compete with the Eagles, maybe. In the end, we'll get to it, but I think the Lions are going to crush everyone. But give me the Manders here. It's against the Cowboys. There's not much to play for. Manders -7, I'll take. I just don't trust the Cowboys. I'll never trust the Cowboys until they get an entirely new team, in my opinion. They have a good offensive line. I'll give them that. Shout out to the Hogs in Dallas, but that's about it. That's about all they got going on for them. And they got one guy on defense, Parson, who's pretty good. Otherwise, they just suck, and I can never get behind them. Give them the Manders -7.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with you. Commanders -7. But there's a couple things here, little shaky. So Cooper Rush on the other side for the Cowboys, he is actually very good against the spread when he's not playing the Philadelphia Eagles. They are sort of his kryptonite. Outside of that, he's only lost one game against the spread in his starts that he's played. Granted, he's not too good straight up, but he tends to keep him competitive. CeeDee Lamb is out for this one. He's on the IR. He's shut down for the year. So that's a big loss for him on the outside. Couple of numbers here for you. Last 6 games that these teams have played against each other, they've been decided by 8 points or more. 9 of those 11, the margin of 10 points or more. 8 of those 11 had a margin of 15 or more. So don't be scared of the high spread here with the touchdown. I'm fully comfortable laying it. You got the Commanders at 10-5-1 against the spread this year. 8-1 straight up, with the only loss being against the Bears on that Hail Mary play. 7-2 against the spread versus teams below 500. So yeah, give me the Manders -7 to get it done. Roll into the playoffs with some momentum. I like it. All right, we got the Texans taking on the Titans. Texans have clinched. They have nothing to play for. They are locked in at their seed. Titans are one of the worst teams that we've seen in a long time in terms of covering the spread. Scott, what do you got?
Yes, so you're not wrong. The Titans have locked in the 4 seed in the AFC. This matters. We'll get to it down towards the end, but this matters. The Steelers, where we're going to play. So this game doesn't matter, but it matters. The Texans have secured the 4 seed. The Titans are atrocious. They're just hit or miss. I mean, they can make it happen. We've seen it where they've won games where I'm like, I don't know what is happening in this game. We've also seen Levis and other quarterbacks go out there and make the probably plays we'll laugh about online for a few years. Comically bad turnovers, interceptions. You mentioned they're not very good at covering the spread. So I'm going to take the Titans money line. Reason being the Texans have absolutely no reason to play anyone that is a starter on their team. And they're kind of banged up offensively. I mean, they lost some players for the entire year. They don't want to risk anything. So for that reason, I think the Texans are going to be playing their practice squad. And for that reason, I'll go with the Titans starters here. But I'm going to take a money line. I'm not going to take them at the spread. I'm going to take them money line.
Yeah, I can't do it. I've both of these teams for me have been a thorn in my side all year long. If I'm on one, specifically the Texans, they choke. If I'm on the Titans, they get blown out. It's not even a choke. They're buried. I'm I'm gonna take the Texans +2. I'm gonna trust Davis Longneck Mills to get it done. He's getting his shot. You mentioned it earlier when we were talking, in the Eagles game. This is an opportunity for some backups to make a stance of why they should be a backup on a team or why they should be a potential starter. This is Davis Mills' time. However, what you just said is very, very true. The Texans are already banged up on offense. They've lost Stephon Diggs. They've lost Tank Dell for the year on the outside. They only got Nico Collins. They're looking at Robert Woods, John Mechie to kind of pick up the slack over there. Joe Mixon, they want to keep him healthy on the defensive side. It's been a little rough for the Texans this year on the defensive side in comparison to last year. That's why they've lost some of these closer games this year than they did last year. Titans on the flip side are abysmal, but they have a little bit of something to play for, at least some of their guys. So one of the guys that has something to play for is Calvin Ridley. He needs about 60 receiving yards to hit one of his incentives. I think it's 1,000 yards on the year. So just something to keep in mind there. But numbers for you. Titans this year, when I said they are one of the worst against the spread teams that we've seen ever, I am not lying. They are 2-14 against the spread. And I'm pretty sure that win or lose this one, they are locked in as the worst spread team ever. Mason Rudolph, the backup they brought in for Will Levis, he's 0-5 against the spread. Will Levis is 2-9 against the spread. But one of those two covers for Will Levis earlier in the year came against this Houston Texans team, so that's something to note there. I just couldn't do it. I can't back the Titans at all anymore. I'll take the Texans +2. I don't want anything to do with this game at all, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm going to take the Texans +2 here.
So here's two incentive grabs, right? Because this is the week of incentive. So if you're a team that doesn't have a chance to make the playoffs, but you have an incentive goal out there. So Tony Pollard is the reason why I do think the Titans will get the ball moving. Tony Pollard needs 83 rush yards for $250,000 and 2 rush touchdowns for an additional $200,000. So he's going to be playing. Now, there is a Joe Mixon incentive, but I don't think they're going to play him because their entire team is hurt. But he needs 107 rush yards for $250,000. But again, I just don't think they're going to play him because they cannot lose anyone else on their offense. But Tony Pollard, look for him. I'm going to take his over rush yards at 83. It was probably like 85, but I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take his 2 touchdowns because I think they're going to give him the ball, try to be productive there because that's a decent incentive, $500,000.
I would say so, yeah. All right, good notes there. We got about halfway through now, so we got the Bills taking on the Patriots. Bills are a 3.5-point favorite. Total is sitting at 36.5. Patriots have a chance to get the 1 seed or the number 1 draft pick, not the 1 seed. Number 1 draft pick. Bills here have already clinched. They locked up their seeds. They got nothing to play for. Mitch Trubisky is going to get the start here instead of Josh Allen. Well, actually, Josh Allen will probably get the start. He's going to kneel the ball, and then it's going to be, Trubisky. Man, I'm gonna take the Bills minus the 3.5. This is one of those other things too. I'm looking at incentives. One of those incentives is Von Miller. Von Miller needs 1 sack, and he hits like a $1.5 million incentive bonus.
Yep.
So that gives me some hope that there will be some starters out there, at least for the first, maybe second quarter. They establish a lead against the Patriots. I think the Patriots struggle. One thing that makes me a little concerned about this one is Drake May's ability to move the football. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. It'll be interesting to see what the Patriots do with the top 5 draft pick. If they move on from Drake May, maybe try to get another high draft pick, draft a new quarterback. It'll be interesting. But I think the Bills will find a way to get it done here. I think it just means more to them. And in this situation, I think the momentum carrying into the playoffs, they know, having been there and done that these last couple years and fallen short, they need everything they can on their side. Notes here for you. Patriots since 2022 are 3-29 straight up and 5-26-1 against the spread when they trail by 7 at any point in the football game. So Bills score the first touchdown. They're up 7-0. Boom, this stat comes into play. 3-29 straight up, 5-26-1 against the spread when that happens. I think that's going to happen. I think the Bills are going to go up by 7 in this one, so that's going to play a factor. I'm playing the numbers. Give me the Bills to get the cover even with the backups. Scott, what do you got?
First, I got Public House. Welcome. Yes, it is early morning. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for joining. Yeah, you mentioned it. So there's two things to note for the Bills. One is Josh Allen wants his consecutive starts record to continue, so he will start. I think he'll get 4 plays. I think they'll give him 4 plays. They might even give him the first drive. Honestly, I could see Josh fighting for that and McDermott being like, I don't know, and then going back and forth. So yeah. I think he's going to fall in the middle, get like 4 plays. Because he's going to get those 4 plays, to your point, I think the Bills are going to start out with a touchdown, and they're going to be up 7-0, and that's what's going to lead them to victory. Because the Patriots are horrible. You know, if I'm them, I'm doing everything I can to see. You know, they want the 1 seed, they want the first pick in the draft. You mentioned on the other side of the football, Von Miller, he's got a $1.5 million incentive for 1 sack. So I think he's going to play the majority of the game. Hopefully, players that have those incentives don't get their sack early. I think they'll leave him in on the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll let him play until he gets it probably. Again, I'm not sure. McDermott is kind of like a Dan Campbell type coach where your second stringers, your third string, your practice squad, they're going to play for you. You do a good job to, empower them to play, let them know that they are part of the team, they matter. So when those players get in the game for the Bills, they are going to play. Again, we've mentioned it. Those players are also playing for their future. This is evaluation period for next year. And the Patriots are just horrible. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Bills minus 3.5. I think they're just a better team. I think their second string is better than the Patriots' first string. Give me the Bills minus 3.5. I think that they're going to win this game. It's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be a pretty ugly game, but I think they're going to go up early and then just hold the lead throughout the game.
Right on. All right. We got one of the bigger games of the week. Broncos taking on the Chiefs in Denver. Broncos are an 11-point favorite right now. Total is sitting at 40.5. Chiefs have clinched. They got their seeding locked up. They are the number 1 seed, so they got the bye. Broncos on the flip side, they have to win this game in order to make the playoffs. If they win, they are in. If they lose, they are out. This one's a little scary just because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and the NFL loves to find a way to have the Chiefs win. Granted, Patrick Mahomes is not supposed to play in this one, so the golden child will be off the field. But you still got Carson Wentz coming in as the backup. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. During that season, before he got injured, he was probably going to win the MVP that year. It'll be interesting to see at some point if he's able to get back to that form. But in this one, I got to go the Broncos. I'm riding that defense. I think that they're going to find a way to put pressure on Wentz. They know what is at stake. Bo Nix has them rallying. He has them believing, believe it or not. A couple incentives here also. Cortland Sutton needs some receiving yards here to cash in on incentive. DeAndre Hopkins needs a receiving touchdown on the flip side for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are benching a lot of guys. Kareem Hunt's not supposed to go. I don't think Isaiah Pacheco is supposed to go. It'll be interesting to see who actually they put out there. So give me the Broncos at full force. I think that's the difference in this one. The double digits is a lot. It's a little worrisome. But the Broncos are 11-5 against the spread this year. One of the best in the league, if not the best. They're 7-0 straight up and against the spread as favorites. So give me the Broncos to get it done. Minus the 11. Scott, what do you got?
Yeah, so you mentioned Cortland Sutton. That's the big incentive in this game. He needs 82 receiving yards to cash in on a $500,000. Look, when it comes down to it, we know the Chiefs are not going to play any of their starters. We know Denver is playing for everything. So 2 different sides of the game here. What I do like is whether you have the 1 seed locked up or not, Andy Reid, don't forget who's coaching these players. Andy Reid is coaching this team. He knows what he's doing. He's very good at scheming up plays against teams. And I'll tell you one thing, Andy Reid's not taking the week off. Patrick Mahomes might not be playing, but he wants to beat a division team. He wants to beat them. I promise you, in those team meetings, he's telling them, hey, listen, you might not be a starter, but this is the week to beat the Denver Broncos, who we hate. And if you beat them, they are not in the playoffs. So I'm sure that is a point that they've preached all week, that you need to go out there and play. I think the Chiefs are going to come to play. It might not be the starters, but I still think they're going to come to play. You mentioned Carson Wentz. This is an opportunity for him to solidify why he should be a backup at a place like the Chiefs, or he should get a starting job, an opportunity somewhere else with struggling quarterbacks, maybe somewhere like Tennessee. So for me, I think Wentz is going to come to play. I think the Chiefs' second strings are going to come to play. And Denver's, they might be thinking they're going to have a cakewalk here because the Chiefs have announced that no one is playing. They could come in a little unprepared here. I just think that the Chiefs are going to be very prepared to spoil their division rival's season here. I want the Chiefs plus 11. Now, Denver could easily win this game, right? It's second. This is a true, complete second team versus a starters who Denver's defense is great, so the Chiefs might not be able to move the ball. But I want the Chiefs plus 11. I want the points. I think the Chiefs are going to come to play. This game's going to be a lot closer than we think.
So something that I want to point out too, this is one of those situations, just like earlier we were discussing the Bears and the Packers game, with a super one-sided thing. Patrick Mahomes, when he starts against the Broncos, he's 13-1 in his career versus the Denver Broncos. So him not being on that field, we'll see how much of a factor that is. We'll see how much of that is Patrick Mahomes versus Andy Reid.
Don't forget with the refs.
That's some numbers. That's also a factor. All right. We got 4 games left here. 49ers taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals are a 4.5-point favorite. Total is sitting at 42.5. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, they're all done. Jordan Mason done. Couple incentives here. Juwan Jennings needs some receiving yards. Nick Bosa needs a sack. The big thing for me here, Scott, is the numbers. And the numbers are atrocious. Kyler Murray. I think it's time you go play baseball, bud. Because these later seasons in the month, because baseball ends in October, folks. That's why I say this. Kyler Murray, in divisional games played in November or later, so November or December or January, he is 1-17 straight up in those games. 1-17. He has 15 straight losses in games played in November, December, or January. The Cardinals, over the last 3 years, are 3-14 straight up versus the division altogether, and they're 1-6 straight up at home. Absolutely not will I be taking the Cardinals in this game. Give me the 49ers plus 4.5. Josh Dobbs is getting the start for the 49ers. I believe in Josh Dobbs. I think he should have got a shot at one of these other teams, maybe in the Colts. I would have liked to see him in like Indianapolis this year or Tennessee or in New England. I think that they probably wouldn't have had – they may have won 5 games this year instead of 3, Scott. So give me the 49ers plus the 4.5. Kyle Shanahan has owned the Cardinals over his tenure of being at the 49ers. I think that continues. And Kyler Murray, they have nothing to play for. They're eliminated. Granted, Kyler Murray has a couple of things incentive-wise for him that he can go out and get rushing the football. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to want to pack this one up, end the season, get back to his Xbox or PlayStation or whatever he plays. Because Call of Duty just did a collab with Squid Game, Scott. His mind isn't focused on this. Give me the 49ers plus 4.5. What do you got?
Yeah, how could he possibly focus? This game will be a little ugly in my opinion. Josh Dobbs, great backup, used to be on our team. He's performed well when he's gotten the opportunity to perform well. He's not a bad backup. I think he has a chance to where he could start somewhere on a team that needs a quarterback. You mentioned Kyler Murray's got some incentives. So it's 50 rush yards and 1 rush touchdown, gives him $750,000. So quite a decent sized incentive there. That is a lot of
Paper.
COD points, ladies and gentlemen. He can get a lot of skins with that. Yes, he wants to play Call of Duty. He's done with this season. They got nothing to play for. But I think there's going to be some points in this game. I think Dobbs is going to be out there slinging the rock. I think Kyler Murray is going to be moving. I mean, McBride, maybe he gets in the end zone again. I'm going to go with the over 42.5 here. I'm going to take the over. I think some points are going to be scored. I don't know which way the game's going to go. If I was leaning one way, I'd lean the 49ers here. You mentioned a lot of points that would have me leaning that direction. But I'm going to trust in the over and the points here.
All right. 3 games left. We got the Dolphins taking on the Jets. Jets are a 1-point favorite at this point. Total is sitting at 38.5. All right, here's some numbers. Jets are 3-14 straight up and 5-11 against the spread since 2016 versus the Dolphins. Granted, a lot of that is from Tua, who came into the league in 2020. Tua is 5-0 against the Jets, straight up, and 3-2 against the spread. He is not playing in this game. He's out. Tyler Huntley is getting the start. Tyler Huntley, as a road favorite in his starts, is 3-0 against the spread, and he's 5-2 against the spread on the road. So little bit of positivity there. Dating back to 2012, the Jets are 0-20 straight up and 1-19 against the spread in the game following the Bills matchup. In the games following the Bills, they are trash. All right.
All right, hold on. Pause. Timeout. Hindu, what do we got going on here? I see you in the chat. This is unnecessary. Are you seeing what he's saying? This is unnecessary.
I don't.
It's all
see
because
I bet.
It's all because I took the Falcons instead of the Panthers, and it's just unnecessary. This is unnecessary roughness. Hindu, unbelievable.
I see nothing wrong with it. I have a real hard time finding a way that the Dolphins don't choke in this game. This has all the makings of it. The Jets are atrocious right now on the field, off the field. It's established that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams will not be with the Jets moving forward next year, specifically Aaron Rodgers with a irreparable, quote-unquote, relationship with the owner, Woody Johnson, which, let's to be honest, was an interesting partnership from the jump, considering Aaron Rodgers' stance on certain things and Woody Johnson's family being part of Johnson & Johnson. I digress. I think that the under 38.5 is what I'm going to go here. I know. I didn't want to do it. But I just don't see it. I think the Jets probably win this game, but I can't take the Jets. I hate the Jets. This is also a win and in type situation for the Dolphins. So, well, actually, they need to win and some other things need to happen too. But I just can't do it. I can't take the Jets. I think the Jets find a way to get it done. I actually don't think that Aaron Rodgers will probably finish this game. He's supposed to start. He's 1 touchdown away from 500 passing touchdowns on his career. He's sitting at 499. He had it last week. He threw a couple interceptions. I think he was trying to force the ball because he was trying to get that number. Kind of feels like that's all he's going for at this point. He doesn't really care too much about the Jets winning or losing. He just kind of wants to get that milestone. Because of that, I could kind of see him giving up on this team and them giving up on him. Tyrod Taylor, when they put him in last week, he moved the ball right down the field in the 2 drives that he had. They scored both drives. He looked like he should have been the quarterback for the last 12 weeks. That's what concerns me in this one. I think the Jets find a way to steal it for all the reasons that we've talked about earlier and you've mentioned with, playing that thorn in the side of divisional opponents and ending those seasons and playing that heartbreak role. Nothing would satisfy Jets fans more out of this abysmal season than to end the Dolphins' ability to go to the playoffs and end it with a win at home. It scares me. I'm staying away from it. It's a cold game. Miami doesn't do well in the cold. Don't read too much into last week against the Browns. It was the Browns, all right? I get it's the Jets. Give me the under 38.5.
You're not wrong.
Scott, what do you got?
I watched the Jets. They look rough. They look bad. Rodgers looks horrible. The Jets fans are down bad. I'll tell you that from firsthand experience. I saw them. I talked to them in Buffalo. Not good for them. I did learn a fun chant there, and that's JETS, sucks, sucks, sucks. And they're going to continue to suck this week. Look, Miami needs to win this game, and then they need a couple other miracles to occur. I'm going to take the fish here for a few reasons. I do not trust the Jets. The Jets defense is not what they are on paper when they play the game. They cannot move the ball offensively. If I'm them and you want a chance to give your fan base something to hold on to going into next season, you do not start Aaron Rodgers. He is not the answer to the team. He's done. All he's got going for him is the Netflix documentary is pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. If you haven't watched it yet, Aaron Rodgers Enigma, it is interesting.
I'm like halfway through episode 2. When he started preaching in his prayer circle before taking his medicine.
Yeah. So, look, go into politics, Rodgers. That's where you're at this point. You left Green Bay and you fell apart.
He was RFK's vice president. He was that close.
Yeah. Look, 1 year too long. I think he's washed up. So, for that reason, and Miami has everything to play for. They're actually coming alive at the end of the season here. They're not playing bad football. Something has occurred. They've remembered that they have skill players that are the top in the league, and they're utilizing them. Also, has nothing to do with numbers, statistics, or historical facts, but fish share water with alligators, and my dog just brought down his alligator toy when we started talking about Miami, so that might be a sign, people. He might know something. Kona might know the pick here. Miami +1.
Fun fact, Dolphins beat up alligators, dude. All right, moving on. We got 2 games left. Yeah, we bring nature into this show.
All right,
too.
hold on.
You get all aspects.
Hindu, this is unnecessary. I'm sorry that your team is bad and we made the playoffs yet again, and stop trying to yuck my yum. Okay? I understand that the next game we talk about here has major implications on what's going to happen to us in the first round of the playoffs. I get it. I understand that. Let's get into it. We got the Chargers versus the Raiders here. We're not talking about what Hindu's put in the chat anymore. What we're talking about is the Las Vegas Raiders, the elite NFL program. They're going to take it to the Chargers. They're going to find a way. I'm not going to lie. My pick for this game is Vegas +6.5 for no other reason than I'm just praying that they can figure it out. Yes, it's a division game. The Raiders really only have Brock Bowers going for them, and that's it. He's having an outstanding season. The Chargers have everything going their way. Their offense is doing well. Their defense is showing up. They're kind of getting it together when they need to get it together. If they win this game, they lock in going to Houston. If they lose this game, they lock in going to Baltimore, and then Steelers go to Houston. So for me, as a Steelers fan, I need the Raiders to win this game because I want the Chargers to go to Baltimore. I don't want anything to do with Baltimore right now. I will say this, if the Chargers win this game and the Steelers go to Baltimore, we're going to lose by 4 touchdowns. At this current time, we're going to get absolutely washed. If we go to Houston, because their offense is so damaged, there's a chance that we could compete with them. A chance if our defense shows up. So I want the chance. I need the Raiders to win this game. I need Brock Bowers to have 10 catches, 180 yards, and 2 scores. I just need it to happen. Please. A very biased pick from a Steelers fan that needs to see something happen for his team here. Vegas +6.5. I don't care what numbers you have. I believe in the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, since you don't care, I won't even bother. I'm with you. I'm with the Raiders plus six and a
Yes.
half also. I trust in Aiden O'Connell, all right? And this is one of those things
AOC.
I don't really trust in Aiden O'Connell. But in this slot, I do. And what he wants to do is win this game so the Raiders fall further and further back in that draft order so they have a least opportunity to get his replacement. Because that's what they're looking for between Shador Sanders, Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for a new QB out there in Las Vegas under those bright lights. I think the Raiders plus six and a half. It has all the signs of what we've been talking about for most of the show. Heartbreak. You can mess up a divisional opponent's seeding. Get your last laugh on them before the offseason. Get bragging rights. Raiders almost beat them the first time around. Chargers kind of ended up pulling away. Biggest thing for me here is the Chargers' lack of ability to run the football. It's been an uphill battle all year long, and that was before J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards got hurt. They're both out. I think Dobbins might be back for this one.
He's got an incentive too.
But he's banged up. Yeah, he does have incentives, so that's something to keep in mind for Dobbins. But at the same time, Jim Harbaugh, they have already clinched that playoff spot. He does not want to get any more guys injured than he needs to. If you have a couple of guys that start to go down with cramps, ankle sprains, whatever at the beginning of the game, I guarantee that's going to play a factor in his mental, and he's probably going to pull these guys sooner than later and call it. He's not, as much as he wants to win this game and he's a competitor, he wants to win a Super Bowl, and he knows he's going to need his guys to do that. If Justin Herbert takes a big hit by Max Crosby, all of a sudden he's limping a little bit or something like that, it's write it off. So I'm with you. Give me the Raiders plus 6.5 at home. I like Antonio Pierce. I think he's a good coach. He's a player's coach. He's going to have these guys ready to go in this one. Give me the Raiders. I'm with you.
Yeah,
All
one
right.
thing to note for the incentive, you mentioned J.K. Dobbins has a small one. It's 58 yards, so we'll see. But again, you mentioned if there's a big hit, a bruised rib, you start feeling something in your ankle, they're going to pull him because the Chargers are already in the playoffs. But yeah, come on, AOC, please.
All right, last game, biggest game of the weekend, of the day. We got Lions taking on the Vikings. It's in Detroit. Is that right?
Yeah, this might be the biggest game of the year.
It might. I mean, playing for the 1 seed and the division, right?
This is division win, 1 seed NFC, and the loser is going to be a 14-win wildcard team.
A 5 seed, right? Yeah. So complete.
Yep.
Complete shit. Amon Ra. So on his podcast, I just want to say this real fast. He made a very good point that I think the NFL should look at. He said that division winners get the bye, but then after that you look at overall record, and that's how you base the seeding, rather than. And basically, what he meant by that was, regardless of win or loss for either one of these teams, one would be the 1 seed and the other would be the 2 seed, based off of record, rather than the 5 seed.
Don't hate it. He's not wrong. You did mention
something to consider.
Yeah, this game is being played at Ford Field, so keep that in mind. The Lions fans are going to be going absolutely crazy.
Yep.
It's going to be, in my opinion, this is I don't care who you're a fan of, this is a must-watch football game. This is going to be a good game, back and forth. Both teams have it. Look, if the Lions didn't have 20 starters out on both sides of the ball, majority defense, you're taking the Lions. The Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. They have 20 starters that are injured or out right now. Some of them are starting to trickle back in, but
it's a good bit.
The Lions get it done. Dan Campbell, he is a player's coach. He's a person where if you got picked up by this team in week 10, you knew nothing about their identity, nothing about what they're playing for, and you had one meeting with Dan Campbell, you're ready to run through a wall. You've seen his speeches. He cares. He's a football guy. He gets his players ready to go no matter what they're playing for. Right now, their offense can score on anyone at will. No, if they choose to score on you, you cannot stop them. They are doing hook and ladder plays, big man touchdowns. They got running backs, they've got wide receivers, they've got tight ends, they've got skill players everywhere. They've got a good offensive line. They have everything you need to make a deep run to the playoffs and a Super Bowl run. Like I said, the only thing that's hurting them right now is their defense is absolutely in shambles due to injuries. If they weren't, they'd be everyone's Super Bowl favorite, in my opinion, besides maybe the Chiefs. But I just think the Lions have it together right now. On the other side of the ball, you got the Vikings, you got Sam Darnold having an absolute monster of a year, what no one expected. Comeback player of the year, maybe he'll win that accolade. He's playing very well. Best season of his career for sure. Vikings defense is playing well. They're no joke. You got Justin Jefferson, Addison. They've got a lot of players there. So this, I think it's going to be a shootout, a high-scoring game. The over is the easy pick here. In my opinion, I think it's going to be back and forth all game. With Lions not having a defense, Vikings being able to score, the Lions able to score on anyone no matter what defense you have. I'm going to go Vikings +3 here. I'm going to take the points instead of going the over, but I absolutely love the over.
Highest over of the year so far, Scott, at 56.5. Highest total we've seen all year long.
One more quick note. I had a discussion with our friend Mr. Butts here on this game, and he said, yes, the Lions are having a good season, but the most Detroit thing that could happen this season for where they're standing is winning 14 games and getting the 5 seed. And I agreed with him. And that's why another reason I'm going to take the Vikings +3, because Detroit will eventually Detroit.
I don't think so. I don't think they will. And here's some numbers that back it up. Dan Campbell in week 18 as a head coach, 7-1 against the spread. 7-1 in week 18. Lions are 5-0 straight up in primetime games this year. They've played 5 of them. This will be number 6. Under Dan Campbell in primetime night games since he's been coach, 9-0 straight up as favorites. All right? Give me the Lions money line to get it done. I think the Lions get it done at home. They're on a different trajectory. I think that they have their mindset completely right. They're going to have them ready to go for this game. If there is going to be a team that's going to compete with them on the NFC side for that NFC championship slot in the Super Bowl, it's going to be this Minnesota Vikings team. They have a great offense. Sam Darnold, over 33 passing touchdowns this year. I think he's close to 35 at this point. Great defense led by Brian Flores. He's got them booming. The Lions, you mentioned, have a ton of injuries, but that's the biggest thing for me. They've had a ton of injuries all year long. It seems week in and week out, they've added another 2 or 3 guys to their report, and they find a way to get it done. And they're not even just finding a way to get it done. They're killing teams. Sorry, YouTube, that might have messed up our algorithm. They are beating teams severely. I mean, like Alabama type number, 52-9, 45-6. Yeah. I mean, it's been brutal what they've been doing to some of these teams that they've played. I think they find a way to get it done here. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in a game earlier this year, and they won the football game. That's video game stuff. That does not happen. It should not happen. Give me the Lions to find a way here to get it done in Detroit. They lock in that 1 seed. They lock in the division. It's been their goals all year long. It's right there for them. Dan Campbell will have them ready. They'll be biting kneecaps for this one. So give me the biting kneecaps. Yeah,
there's gonna be kneecaps all over the field. I don't love my Vikings +3 pick. I'm gonna be honest. I just, something is making me go that way. I'm glad Butts is not awake because he'd be upset to hear me say this. Yeah, I could see the kneecaps taking this one. I could see it happening. But I love the over. The over here for me is an automatic.
I think you're probably right on that one. It's hard to see one, if not both of these teams, not hitting 30 points in this game, given the offensive firepower they have on both sides. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, TJ Hawkinson going against his old team with the Lions. You know, he's going to perform. He's going to show up. Aaron Jones. Sam Darnold's playing out of his mind. Lions, we don't have to talk too much about. Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jared Goff. I mean, it's going to be a great game. So definitely, if you're going to watch any game this week, folks, make sure it's the one tonight. It's going to be one you do not want to miss. Throwing up the recap now.
Throw it up.
Only 3 of them that we are in agreement on. So that's
So
interesting. I almost changed. I just want to say I almost changed from Texans to Titans right here at the last second, or did the under, and I really hope that that does not come back to bite me
I
because
almost just
I'm
changed to the
still
over.
debating it.
I almost just took the over in the Lions Vikings, but I'm going to leave it for a head-to-head opportunity for us. Um, Miami, tell the people what you need to do to be 500 here, because this is a big week for you. You can get there. I believe in you. You can do it. I think you can get to 500 here.
I need 8-4. I need 8-4 to get over 500. I need 7-4-1 to get 500 exactly. So I think I can do it. We do have 6 true head-to-heads in this one out of the 12 matchups. So that you've mentioned it relentlessly all show long. Your record versus mine. So that right there gives me a little bit of pause and may rethink some things here before this window opens up. But yeah, I think we can get it done, and I think that you will also. I think you're gonna hit your 120, and I think you're gonna raise the bar and go to 125. That's what I'm. That's
Hey,
what I'm. At
that's what
least. At least.
the goal is 120, but I'm shooting for the stars is 125. That's over and achieving. That's what I'd like to get to. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If I get to 125 though, and we have 6 true head-to-heads, you're probably not getting a 500. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. We can't have them both.
That's not true. Look, because 6 true head-to-heads, I could win every one of those, and I'd be okay.
And I could still fair enough.
I would have to do very well head to head, which if you look at past recaps and past shows, has it not been the case too much. Anyway, we will move on from that subject. Last week, this is the last week of regular season NFL football. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank you to everyone in the chat who's always here every week, watches every show. We really appreciate you. It's always awesome to see. We love it. Means a lot to both of us. Scott, congratulations. You've had the medal all year. Where is it? That way.
Pouring it.
It unfortunately is probably going to stay in your possession after this week. So congrats there. Anything you want to say to the people before we sign off for week 18, before we head to the playoffs?
Yeah, you said it. Thank you to everyone who joins every week. We appreciate you guys in the chat. One thing I would like to correct is you said I will probably keep the badge. No, I will 100% keep the badge.
Probably.
There's no way. This is the same statistics that
it's likely. It's very likely. It's very probable.
The same statistics that the New England Patriots have to make the playoffs this week, which is 0, is the same that you will have this badge next week. You'd have to win quite a bit of games, quite more than 12 to steal it from me. Yeah. But it's been a good season. It's been a great season.
Small chance.
This is the regular season. We go into the playoffs after this, everyone. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Evelyn, we see you there. Shop CYA. Do not forget it. It's right up there. Check it out. But yeah, that's it. It's been a good season. I can't believe it's already over. I'm sad. We've arrived at week 18. Please, Raiders, find a way to win today. Please.
Yeah, and I would say the same about the Dolphins, but they're going to lose in the first round no matter what, and they'll be embarrassed when they do it. So I really don't give two.
You're sitting exactly where I'm at. If the Chargers,
you know what I want. You know what I want, Scott? I want the Dolphins to lose this game, and I want us to fire Mike McDaniel, and I want us to go hire John Gruden. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm looking for the Miami Dolphins. That'd be my New Year gift. Fire Mike McDaniel.
Just signed a contract with Barstool Sports, but I think he actually wants to coach football. So I don't hate it for you. I
think that'd be a good fit. I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need to bring Miami out of the rut. But probably won't happen. Anyway, thank you to everybody again. Good luck this week. Scott, I will talk to you shortly, sir. And yeah,
yes,
good luck on your quest for 125.
Everyone. Tune in next week. We will talk playoffs. We will talk wild card, divisional. We will talk our Super Bowl picks. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, and hit that bell so you don't miss out when we go live. Because I know this is probably a shock for everyone going live super early in the morning, but this was the only time we could find with everything going on, the holiday schedules, travel. But here we are.
I'm not mad at it personally. I'm not mad at the Sunday start times.
Yeah. I don't hate it. Hate it.
It might be. We might have to consider it for next season or maybe next week. I want to throw one last thing out for the people that have watched till the end.
Let's hear.
All right,
made it to the end.
I have a sack parlay for you.
Let's hear it.
I have a sack parlay based off incentives. All right.
Okay.
Dexter Lawrence for the Giants. Campbell Soup guy. He's giving back to people when he gets sacks. He's going to get one. Von Miller, we mentioned it. Nick
1.5.
Bosa, we mentioned his incentive. Micah Parsons is another one. He needs one sack to have 10 sacks for 4 straight seasons with 10 sacks. Calais Campbell needs a sack for an incentive. And Josh Sweat is my last sack. I have no idea what the numbers are on that.
I kind of like it,
but I'm looking at it. I'm not saying to do it. You know, you make your own decisions at the end of the day. I'm just saying I'm thinking about it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So, like I said, we will talk very shortly here, Scott. All right. Thank you to everybody. Good luck this week, and we will see you next week. Peace.
See ya.